And we're going to start the show with a wild berry cobbler, which is absolutely delicious, or a crumble actually is what we're going to call it. Very, very easy to make. So sit back, relax. It's just going to be a ton of fun. And if you're looking for some new, different recipes, we've got them for you today. So sip of coffee, I'm going to get to work. I absolutely love crumbles and crisps and cobblers because you can make them without having to deal with the pie crust, which is kind of putsy and that whole thing. So it's a dessert that I can do, and the other thing I love about them is there's nothing better than a warm dessert out of the oven, served nice and warm with vanilla ice cream on top. I mean, wow, it's just like a great big hug, and really, besides chocolate, it's my favorite type of dessert. And there's so many different ways you can do them. We're going to do a wild berry crumble, and we're just using some great berries that we picked up at the grocery store. And whenever I'm doing something with berries, I kind of go, take a peek at, how the berries look at the grocery store, and then change up my berries depending on, what looks better. What's, if the strawberries really aren't, you're not feeling the strawberries, move over and do raspberries. So we actually found we're doing 2 cups each of fresh raspberries, blackberries, and blueberries. But again, if the raspberries, because sometimes they don't look so good or they're really expensive, you could also do strawberries in this recipe. And you can also use frozen berries for this recipe, and sometimes that's really those are the best, so it just depends. So we're just mixing the berries, about 2 cups of each. If you do use frozen berries, I like to use them in a frozen state. I don't like to thaw them, just use them straight up frozen. And I want to be really gentle with these berries because they're so gorgeous. I don't really want to break them up too much. So I do have some sugar, about 1/2 cup of sugar, a little more or less, depends on how sweet you want it, and about 1 tablespoon of flour. And this is going to kind of give you, take the juices from those berries and make it a little bit thicker and wonderful. Okay. If you didn't do the flour, it'll just tighten up the juices that these berries release. And I just am very, very carefully tossing this around. Just want to coat the berries with the flour and the sugar, but not break them up too much. I'll never forget, I went to a really, really fancy black tie formal affair actually, it was over at Lambeau Field in the atrium there. It was a big fundraiser and had to get all dolled up. And the food was very, very formal. And at the end of the night, they set up a dessert bar, and they were serving a warm crumble, much like this. And it was just kind of like, okay, roll up your sleeves. This is the food that, that rustic food. And it really was the hit of the night. It was the dessert that everyone was talking about. And I think that, it's just a great way to go. Even if you are having a formal night, bring it down, toward the end. And there's nothing like good, comforting desserts. Now, this is fun to do in a nice 2-quart casserole dish, but the in thing now is to do these in little individual ramekins, oven-safe dishes. So we've got a few of them here to show you, and you can pick these up just about anywhere, really inexpensively. And you can do anything from individual pot pies in them to baked French onion soup. They're just really great. So if you see these around, you might want to pick them up. They're very, very on trend. The deal with these is you need to spray them just like you would your baking dish, and then we're going to load them up with our berries. We also want to do a little bit, this is a kind of a fun twist to this recipe, and it makes it something a little bit extra special, is some fresh orange zest and a little bit of juice from this orange. And this is, again, just going to give your crumble just that little extra something, something.
Ask me how I am, Amy.
How are you, Ann? I'm just getting so carried away with this dessert. Are you feeling good?
I'm
excited about dessert? You're very good today. Oh, good, good, good. I'm so glad you're very good. And my good friend Chef Ken Hall is in the house today. When it came to finding somebody to do some wild game recipes, I was like, I knew right away he's a big hunter, and so he's going to be here to do his family's favorite venison chili, and then some wonderful stuffed venison steaks. Get a lot of emails. What should I do with venison? I'm looking for some new, different recipes. So stick around. We've got them for you. Okay. Now I also want to cut this and use this actually. This orange. Just a little bit of the juice. It really just works nicely with the berries, that little bit of orange. All right. Now into our ramekins. I did spray. But thank you for keeping an eye on me. That's because Ann's like, I don't want to be doing those dishes if you didn't spray. I got it covered, girlfriend. And you can do these at the fancy party that we went to, the fundraiser. They just did little ramekins like this, and it was just enough. Just depends how hungry you are. If it's movie night at home for Bob and I, we might just do these nice big casserole dishes. But, you know, it's just up to you. This is a pretty one because you can do lots of crumble on top of it. But I just wanted to show the different dishes that are available out there to do these in. Or, like I say, just bake them in an ordinary casserole dish. It's all going to be good and wonderful. Just want to load them up. And now we're going to work on the crumble. Because no skimping on the crumble, right? It's all about the crumble. Okay. This is so easy, and this is just stuff that you already have in your pantry right now. I've got some oatmeal. This is just the quick cooking oatmeal. Half of a cup of flour. Half of a cup of brown sugar. I'm just going to use my hands to break that up a little bit. And a little bit of cinnamon. About a half of a teaspoon. Now I've got 5 tablespoons of cold butter. We just pulled this out of the refrigerator. And I'm just going to put this in here. You can use 2 forks, 2 knives to cut it in, or a pastry blender, food processor too, if you want to pull that out. But sometimes it's like, that's just one more dish to wash, and Anne doesn't feel like doing that, do you? So I'm just going to use a pastry blender. But as I said, if you don't have one of these, you don't have to run out and get one. 2 knives or forks, but you just want this to be crumbly. And by the way, if you hunt and you're looking for some, or you have some good hunting recipes or wild recipes, please let us know. We'd love to have you on the show and come cook with me sometime. Or just email your recipes and we'll do it. You don't have to come. We'll do the cooking for you. But your recipes really are the best. They're my kind of recipes. We just want this to get crumbly because it's a crumble. And this takes a minute or two. You get the idea. These can be made ahead of time too, and then baked off right before your guests get there. In fact, that's the way I do it. You know, you want to just basically, you know, have these all done in the refrigerator. You know, make them maybe the morning of your party or the morning of your dinner. And then just bake them off. Now, it depends on what size, you know, if you're doing like a 2-quart casserole, it's going to take maybe, you know, 45 minutes or so. These little guys are going to be able to cook a little bit quicker. This pastry blender, I think I'm going to, the knives work better, I think.
I think so too.
Sometimes these fancy gadgets, just the old-fashioned stuff works better. So just kind of get in here and you get the idea. Basically cut it into the flour and the oatmeal and the brown sugar and the cinnamon. Okay. So now we're going to sprinkle, and I like to be pretty generous. I'm all about the topping. No skimping on the crumble. So I just like to take a spoon and really kind of load this up. And I can smell that orange zest in there. That is key. Get my little guy. Isn't this one cute? It's so cute. You can have that one, Ann. I'll take the big one. All right, so you get the idea. Into the oven these go. And I just want to show you the one that we've got here. So yummy. It smells so good. You make this and your house just smells amazing. Top gets a little bit brown. And wow-y. This with vanilla ice cream on top, it just doesn't get much better than that. Oh, I can hardly wait to dig in and have some. Recipe, by the way, is on our website. You can also pick this one up at any area Festival of Foods. So there you go. Go a little wild and make my wild berry crumble.